Today's video is brought to you by Squarespace, but more on that at the end of the video. Hi there, and welcome to your Pick a Card Tarot reading video for Gemini season. As you can see, if you're familiar with this background, I'm back home, back in Canada, and I actually wanted to film this video about a week ago, but I fell sick right after getting back, and it's been taking me forever to recover. You might still hear it a little bit in my voice, so I hope you don't mind that. But because of that, I want to really emphasize that these readings are inherently timeless. We're all on different timelines. We're all working with these energies differently. The only thing you might notice with the readings today is that there might be more Gemini influence or influence of the current astrological transits. But I can't be certain because we haven't gone into the readings yet, but that's just something to keep in mind. Now, let's get into a quick centering meditation before choosing your reading today. I'm going to ring my symbol 3 times. With each ring, take a deep breath in and a complete exhale out. Take this time to really arrive in your body. Relax your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Create space between your eyebrows. And soften your body. Allow all the tension to just melt away as you sink deeper into your seat. And draw your awareness to the center of your chest. It's from here that we listen for emotional resonance. And that is the kind of intuition that invites you to exercise as you listen to today's readings. Listen for what empowers you. Take what empowers you. Take what excites you, what gives you life and energy. If any of the messages feel draining, I invite you to leave that. That's not meant for you. That's probably for someone else. Only take what resonates. And now if you're ready, you can open your eyes and look at the 3 groups today. For group 1, we have Pyrite. For group 2, we have Citrine. For group 3, we have orange or pineapple agate. Soften your gaze and notice which crystal stands out to you. And to help you even further, we're actually going to be using different decks today for each group. For group 1, we have the Awaken Tarot deck. For group 2, we have the Osho deck. For group 3, we have the Golden Universal Tarot deck. Which group stands out to you? Which group do you feel drawn to? Which group is calling out to you? You don't have to think too hard. There's no right or wrong answer. You can always listen to more than one group. So simply go with the one that you're most drawn to right now. And once you've chosen your group, you can go down to the timestamps below to click on your reading, and I'll see you over there. If you chose group 1, Pyrite, then this is your reading. Hi, group 1. For your group, we're using the Awakened Tarot deck. This is a new deck in my collection, and I feel like we acclimated to each other quite fast and take that as a good sign. So I'm very excited to be using this in your reading today. And I'm just going to shuffle for your current energies right now, then ask for what you need to hear, if there are any blind spots in your situation, and then we'll ask for possible energies that will be available to you in the near future if you are to follow the advice of Spirit here. So starting with your current energies, group 1. Interesting. We have the World, Two of Swords, and Three of Cups. Now I'm going to just ask for clarification on the World. Can you tell us more about the World? Okay. So with the World, we have the Nine of Pentacles to clarify. The World is suggesting that you're at a really stable point in your life right now. There's a lot of inner security, sense of wholeness, solidity, completion, and you're feeling integrated, unified. The Nine of Pentacles says that this is a really independent time for you, where you're thriving independently without seeking, without needing support from others. You're pretty content on your own. You're feeling self-sustained and just enjoying all the riches life has to offer to you. And you're recognizing this level of abundance that you have available to you. I also want to get clarification on the Three of Cups and Two of Swords. You have the Three of Cups clarified by the Four of Cups. The Three of Cups energy is about celebration, communion, and just being very social, connecting with people, sharing your energy with other people. And this is clarified by the Four of Cups, which tells me that a part of you is resistant to these opportunities to connect. You're not letting it in completely. Perhaps you're feeling somewhat dissatisfied by these social circles you have around you. You're not fully content with what's available to you. You might be avoiding certain people in your life, not really allowing yourself to connect with them. You might be, well, in general, you're holding yourself back for some reason. This could be a good thing or a bad thing. We don't really know just yet. So I'm going to leave it at that. You're holding yourself back when it comes to connection. And then we have the Two of Swords, clarified by the Knight of Cups. So again, it's a similar energy here where there's a Knight of Cups or many knights offering their cup of emotions to you, their invitations to connect, to go deeper emotionally with other people. But you have your eyes closed and you're feeling torn. You're, instead of being emotional, you're quite mental here, very cerebral. The Two of Swords is the feeling of being at a crossroads, not really knowing what to think, what to believe, and feeling like you're torn between two options and you need to make a decision. And when we're in this energy, we can be very indecisive. So the advice is often to tune inwards. Sometimes I get this card when I've already tuned inwards and perhaps a little bit too much. And I've tuned inwards not with my heart but with my mind, so I'm still lost and confused. So I'm seeing that a bit here where somebody wants to give you their cup, they're on their horse, they're all dressed up, and they're giving you, they have an invitation. And you have your eyes closed with your swords. It's not an inviting picture. So there's a dichotomy here where you have opportunities to be emotional, to connect, to be social, and you're holding yourself back. And I wonder if perhaps it's because you've been so independent and self-sufficient, which the earlier two cards suggested to us with the World and the Nine of Pentacles. Perhaps you've been overly independent. You've relied on yourself so much that you've gotten almost too comfortable with that, and now it's your comfort zone. The idea of relying on the support of others is it's become too foreign at this point, and maybe a little bit daunting and scary. So that is one message coming through. And of course, this can also be taken in the sense that, you're doing so well on your own that you're not wanting to disrupt that with the opinions and the emotions of other people. So you're being very mindful about it. You have your boundaries in place so that other people's emotions aren't getting to you because you're in a good place. And why should they get to you when you know what you're doing and you're confident in your approach to your reality? And for others, again, this could be that you're being overly guarded. Your walls have become too high at this point, and it's a little bit of a comfort zone. And it could be both for you. You're doing well, but at the same time, maybe this sort of rigidity is not healthy in the long run. So it's time to kind of keep it in check instead of before it takes over completely. Now, let's get some advice from the Work Your Light Oracle deck. Okay, you have the ever unfolding rose cracked open. It's all happening for you, not to you. So this card wants you to know that these invitations, these opportunities to connect are for you. They are to encourage you to continue to expand and grow. So don't push them away without having, seriously considered them. You also have a leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. So there's a bit of the same message here. Allow yourself to take a leap of faith. If you stay where you are, you're going to grow stagnant. And I know you don't want that. With the World and the Nine of Pentacles, I can tell that you're quite self-aware, that you take a lot of personal accountability. I to become stagnant on your path. So perhaps it's time to exercise some courage and take a leap of faith so things don't become stale. It's time to shake things up again and challenge yourself a little bit by going into the growth zone. So you go first, the universe will catch you. The universe is convening these events and experiences for you. Now let's get a Moonology card. Get some more advice. Yeah, look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius energy is very adventurous. Sagittarius is the energy of the seeker. This is doing everything in the name of truth, in the name of growth and expansion, not comfort. So at this time, can you look at the bigger picture? If you are feeling dissatisfied with your current reality or with the people that you've been connecting with, is there more to it than what meets the eye? Look at the bigger picture and let that propel you on your path so you're not being stagnant and you're not avoiding very necessary exchanges that are conducive to growth. You have communication is key, new moon in Gemini. So get yourself out there, reach out to the people that you've been avoiding, have the necessary conversations that you've been putting off. You need this in order to level up, and it's very close. It's right there. You just gotta cross that threshold of having the uncomfortable conversations or being uncomfortable at a social event. You have to get past this threshold. So put yourself out there, talk, communicate, use your voice, use your presence. Now let's go into what we can expect in your near future if you are to follow the advice here. Yeah. There's that leveling up that I'm talking about. So you have the Six of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Swords. Let's start here. So Six of Pentacles tells us that you're going to have to be the bigger person in your situation to reach out to have a conversation or to just be more understanding and generous to create reciprocity between you and another party. You're going to have to take the first step if you want things to move forward. Again, it's about that leap of faith and communicating something. I often get this card when there is a conversation that is needed between two parties and both parties are hesitant to initiate that conversation. So this card is usually a suggestion for you to be the bigger person and be brave enough to initiate, to suggest that perhaps, we can talk through something and bring back deeper reciprocity. So I see that with the Six of Pentacles, and that's going to lead to some sort of breakthrough in the form of thoughts, ideas, words, because this is the Ace of Swords, and Swords energy is mind energy. So you're going to have a mental breakthrough. There's potentially a threshold that's going to be crossed with you and whoever you're communicating with. And yeah, it's a new way of talking about something, new way of seeing something, a new idea of mental breakthrough. And we just have the Six of Wands very simply as success. This is a confirmation that you will be successful in this if you take that leap to be the bigger person and have necessary forms of communication. Six of Wands is also about recognition. So whoever you're going to be talking with, if it's a community, they're going to recognize you for who you are. They're going to really stroke your ego and make you feel proud. So it's always a really nice confirmation that things will go right, so you don't have to worry. The Page of Pentacles suggests that there might be some form of apology coming to you, or recognition that things haven't been the best. Well, how do I say this? It's like when somebody recognizes their shortcomings and they bring it up. So somebody might come forward to you and communicate their shortcomings or apologize for something. A project might sprout out of this due to the level of honesty, humility, and groundedness that is established between you and the people you're going to talk to. That's an interesting message. Now let's get one more card to close this off, Group 1. It's time to take action. New Moon in Aries. So we've established that it's you who has to take that leap. It's you who has to be generous and be the bigger person here. And communication is part of what's going to remedy your situation. So it's time to take action. You know what to do. Go and do it. You got this. I hope that you found this helpful, Group 1. Let me know if the reading resonated. And if you would like more guidance from me, I do 2 new readings every single month on my Patreon. One for the new moon and one for the full moon. And we also work with the energies using Reiki as well after every reading. So if that's something you like to explore, I would love to see you over there. And if not, I'm wishing you all the best with your situation. And I'm sending you so much love, light, and healing. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye. If you chose Group 2, Citrine, then this is your reading. Hi, Group 2. For your group, we're going to be using the Osho deck. So we're going to start with your current energies and then ask for advice or what you're not seeing and what you need to hear. And then we'll ask about energies possible in the near future if you were to follow Spirit's advice here. So starting with your current energies, Group 2, Citrine, Group 2, Citrine, Group 2. Interesting. We're starting off with very similar message to Group 1, which makes me want to keep shuffling just in case we're still tapped into their energy, which shouldn't be the case. Yeah, this is Group 1's message. Interesting. Group 2, Citrine. Group 2. Okay, we have the 8 of Swords, guilt. We have the Emperor, which is known as the Rebel here. Then we have the Magician, known as Existence in this deck. So the 8 of Swords is often about our mind-created limitations when we are overly convinced by our perception of reality that something is not possible, when in truth there's something we're not seeing, something we've blocked ourselves from seeing. And in this deck, this card is about guilt, which is interesting. It makes me want to go into the guidebook to read to you their take on this card. So why don't we start with that, and then we can go into the other two cards. So we have Eight of Swords. Guilt is one of the most destructive emotions in which we can get caught. If we have wronged another or gone against our own truth, then of course we will feel bad. But to let ourselves be overwhelmed with guilt is to invite a migraine. We end up surrounded by nagging clouds of self-doubt and feelings of worthlessness, to the point where we cannot see any of the beauty and joy that life is trying to offer us. We all long to be better people, more loving, more aware, more true to ourselves. But when we punish ourselves for our failures by feeling guilty, we can get locked into a cycle of despair and hopelessness that robs us of all clarity of ourselves and the situations we encounter. You are absolutely okay as you are, and it is absolutely natural to go astray from time to time. Just learn from it, move on, and use the lesson not to make the same mistake again. So, a couple of things I'm taking away from this. You don't have to be feeling guilt per se. You could also be feeling shame or regret or grief. This is about something that has happened to you which now shapes your perception of reality, and your current perception of reality is quite limiting. You've caged yourself in because of this feeling you're still holding on to and identified with. You're punishing yourself with this limited perception of reality. You're telling us that you're locked, you're stuck, you're limited, and you can't go after what you want. You can't, something can't happen because of your clouded perception at this time. And I'm also seeing Nine of Swords energy here as well. I think this is leading to that of being incredibly overwhelmed by your thoughts because that energy is trapped. It's got nowhere to go. So you're sort of inviting a migraine. You're inviting overwhelm at this point because you're limiting yourself so much by your lack of clarity and your distorted perception of reality. And let me read to you what Osho has to say. This moment, this here now, is forgotten when you start thinking in terms of achieving something. When the achieving mind arises, you lose contact with the paradise you're in. When you drop the idea of meaning and goal, it is one of the most liberating approaches. It liberates you right now. Forget all about sin and forget all about saintliness. Both are stupid. Both together have destroyed all joys of humanity. The sinner is feeling guilty, hence his joy is lost. How can you enjoy life if you are continuously feeling guilty? If you are continuously going to church to confess that you have done this wrong and that wrong, and wrong and wrong and wrong, your whole life seems to be made of sins. How can you live joyously? It becomes impossible to delight in life. You become heavy, loaded. Guilt sits on your chest like a rock. It crushes you. It does not allow you to dance. How can you dance? How can guilt dance? How can guilt sing? How can guilt love? How can guilt live? So the one who thinks he is doing something wrong, is guilty, burdened, dead before death, has already entered the grave. So feel free to switch out the word guilt for shame here as well. Any self-negating emotion that we've normalized in our society. Wow, we're we're starting off very strong. Now we have the rebel in existence, which is starting to make a lot more sense having read all of that. The rebel here is the emperor in traditional tarot, and I really want to read to you the commentary for this as well because it's really powerful. Yeah, why don't I go ahead and do that? It's funny because I didn't read anything for group 1, but here I am wanting to read so much to you for group 2. Just gonna go with that. Okay. The powerful and authoritative figure in this card is clearly the master of his own destiny. On his shoulder is an emblem of the sun, and the torch he holds in his right hand symbolizes the light of his own hard-won truth. Whether he is wealthy or poor, the rebel is really an emperor, because he has broken the chains of society's repressive conditioning and opinions. He has formed himself by embracing all the colors of the rainbow, emerging from the dark and formless roots of his unconscious past, and growing wings to fly into the sky. His very way of being is rebellious, not because he's fighting against anybody or anything, but because he has discovered his own true nature and is determined to live in accordance with it. The eagle is a spirit animal, a messenger between earth and sky. The rebel challenges us to be courageous enough to take responsibility for who we are and to live our truth. Osho says, people are afraid, very afraid of those who know themselves. They have a certain power, a certain aura, and a certain magnetism, a charisma that can take alive young people out from the traditional imprisonment. The enlightened man cannot be enslaved. That is difficult, and he cannot be imprisoned. Every genius who has known something of the inner is bound to be a little difficult to be absorbed. He is going to be an upsetting force. The masses don't want to be disturbed. Even though they may be in misery, they are in misery, but they are accustomed to the misery. And anybody who is not miserable looks like a stranger. The enlightened man is the greatest stranger in the world. He does not seem to belong to anybody. No organization confines him, no community, no society, no nation. I get so many goosebumps whenever I read this. So there is a really great duality between what we just read for the Eight of Swords versus the Rebel. The Eight of Swords is society living in misery and convincing you to do the same, clouding your perception and convincing you that you are limited and that there are things you can't do and that you must be stagnant and stuck. And then there's the rebel, the enlightened, awakened person who appears like a stranger to everyone else because he's taking accountability for his power, for his energy, and he's acting on that power and energy. He's in tune with existence. He's a channel for existence, and a clear channel at that he exudes such confidence and power, and that charisma awakens people around him, but also makes him like an enemy to the traditional imprisonment, as Osho put it. So you have two options here. You can go about in self-negating emotions, as society has taught you, as culture has conditioned you. And I really mean it when I say this. There's nothing wrong with that. That is one path you can take in life, and that's completely valid. So the choice is yours, and there's no better choice here, but the choice is yours. One requires you to take an enormous amount of personal accountability and responsibility. Only then can you actually channel the power that's available to you, that's dying to come through you from existence. And the other is, doesn't require much responsibility. It requires conformity. And that's also okay. The choice is yours. No pressure. And I think we have existence here, which is the magician in the traditional deck, as a reminder that you are a channel for existence. You have this form that is a vehicle for the current running through it. And this energy, or this existence, will continue to flow through you until it decides not to, until this lifetime is over. And you can be as negating of this energy as you want. It will continue to flow despite, being somewhat constricted. And the other option is you can really open up to this energy, take responsibility of it, take ownership of it. So there's an invitation for you to really work with your masculine side here, to take on the archetype of the magician and the emperor. Now let's get some more advice from the Work Your Light deck. Citrine. Birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. So that tells me that you have something here to channel. You have something to create in this lifetime. Existence has a special plan or path or purpose for you. There's something to create here. There is energy that is wanting to come through you and to manifest and to form. This can be, for example, a child. Maybe you're here to birth a project. Maybe you're here to start a YouTube channel and to make tarot videos. Who knows? There's something that is wanting to be birthed through you, and that energy is, it's knocking. It's knocking at your door, knocking on your door. Let's get another card. Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. So you've heard the intuitive nudges, the whispers. You've heard the calling. You can trust that. Trust your own intuitive guidance. What lights you up? This is going to be a great indicator for you as to what allows energy to flow freely through you. What allows you to feel most connected to existence. Let this take you closer to your birthing of that creation, whatever it is. Follow the path of least resistance. Follow your excitement. Do more of the things that light you up, and that will take you to your creation, to the manifestation of your creation. So perhaps this can be a journal prompt for you. Journal on what lights you up. Yeah, speaking of journaling, meditate and contemplate. New moon in Pisces. And Piscean energy is very wise, right? It's very ethereal and dreamy. So allow yourself to dream. Be idealistic. Allow your mind to wander. This is not the time to be quote-unquote realistic in the ways that most people are, because that's what gets you into Eight of Swords energy. that's usually when people start making excuses for themselves. The quote-unquote realism isn't really realistic. So throw that out the window. Allow yourself to be dreamy, to visualize, allow your mind to wonder and wander about the highest possibilities. Now, let's get some cards for what might be possible for you if you are to follow the advice that's here. Okay, beautiful. You have going with the flow, totality, and innocence. Gorgeous. So with going with the flow, I'm seeing that there are going to be a lot of synchronistic events unfold in the near future. Follow the synchronicities, allow them to guide you to where you need to be, to meeting the right people at the right time, at the right place. Go with the flow. So work with your flow state. Identify how it feels to be in flow and try to recreate that state of being as often as you can. Again, so that's advice, but that also tells me you're going to be doing that. It's not going to be very hard for you. We also have totality, so this is really being in the moment and embracing the intensity of life, the intensity of connection, the intensity of flow. Sometimes when you're in the flow, it can feel like so much is happening and that that you might be overloaded. And the key perhaps to embracing your experiences as fully as you can is to be present, to treat everything with a lot of presence. So I see that in your near future, being very present with the intensity of your experiences and with momentum. And then we have innocence. So to me, this is humility. This is a renewed sense of innocence that is not naive. It's not ignorant. It comes from experience. You're able to be childlike because you've experienced so much and you're trusting of life. So this is growing into emotional, spiritual maturity. Definitely very Piscean. I'm feeling called to also mention if a new moon in Pisces is coming up soon. I'm not sure when that's going to be. Could be relevant for you. And also, you might end up dealing with a lot of Piscean energy in the future. So, in the form of a person, perhaps, somebody who carries a lot of Piscean energy in their chart. So that's just something to keep in mind or to be open to. Beautiful. Pillar of light, your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. So embrace the changes that are happening internally, subtly, the slight shifts to your perception as your vibration rises, as you come back to your truth. Thank you so much for being here, Group 2. Your reading, or the way I read, is very different from the way I've read Group 1's. So that's really standing out to me right now. I'm really astonished by the way the messages came through. I hope that you found it helpful. Let me know in the comments below. And if you would like more guidance from me, I do 2 new readings every single month on Patreon, one for the new moon and one for the full moon. Both readings are always followed by Reiki activations to really work with the energies on a deeper level. So if that's something you're curious about, I would love to see you over there. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next video or in another reading. Bye. If you chose Group 3, Pineapple Agate or Orange Agate, then this is your reading. Hi, Group 3. So for your reading, we're going to be using mainly the Golden Universal Tarot deck. And we're going to start by asking for your current energies, and then we'll ask for some advice or, clarity over what you're not seeing. Then we'll ask for potential energies in the near future if you are to follow the advice here. So starting with your current energy, group 3, orange pineapple agate, group 3, group 3. Okay, so we have the Hierophant, we have the King of Swords, and 9 of Wands. The Hierophant, being the major arcana, suggests here that you have a deep commitment to the highest order or highest path or timeline. You're wanting to gain more clarity over some sort of truth as well. And there's a lot of doubt and burnout. So it's an interesting energy. Like there's a lot of intention to stay in integrity, to commit to the highest path, to follow what is true, what is right, what is good. And I see that in the King of Swords as well, of being a truth seeker, wanting the truth out of a situation or out of life in general, spiritually speaking perhaps. Okay, so for clarification, we have the 8 of Cups. So what I'm seeing here is it looks like you're pretty much done with the way things are or things are expected of you. You're done with convention. You're done with the rigidity and the repressed nature of what's conventionally acceptable in society. The King of Swords, when he's reversed, is a very repressed person. Somebody who has followed the mind so much that they've lost touch with the body, they've lost touch with their felt sense, their emotions, and intuition. So it's like you're trying to turn this archetype around. You've been so much in the shadow of the King of Swords because of what is conventional, what has been taught to you by tradition and the beaten path that most people follow. And now you're kind of at this point where, the 9 of Wands suggests that you're burnt out, you've been let down by this, you're exhausted, very doubtful of how you've handled your situation or life up until this point. So you're just like, you're barely holding on, you're losing faith. And then there's the 8 of Cups telling us that you're walking away. You're walking away from something, and I think you're walking away from the beaten path. You're wanting to carve out your own path. It's interesting. I should also say, when this energy turns around from its lower polarity to its higher polarity, and the King of Swords, when he is upright, is a truth teller. He has an open throat chakra. He expresses the truth and only the truth. He is so much in his integrity and authenticity. He has so much clarity also. His perception is never clouded. And that makes him very wise. He has this kind of wisdom that is not just knowledge that he has gathered, but also intuition. So there is more of a balance here as opposed to when he's in his shadow aspect. So I feel like you're trying to redirect your energy to becoming the upright King of Swords, instead of staying stuck in his repressed, shadowy form. Now, let's get some cards from the Work Your Light deck. What do you need to hear about your situation? You have Leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. Group 1 also got this card. And you have this alongside Trust Your Path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So Spirit wants you to know that they have your back, that you are supported. They are encouraging you to walk to the beat of your own drum. And if you don't know what that's like, what that would look like, figure it out by asking yourself, if you knew you would be supported, what would you do? They're encouraging you to step away from the traditional path. You also have play. Have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. So if you are trying to figure out how to get out of this repressed state that is the reversed King of Swords, if you're feeling like you've been quite disconnected from your body these days and you're finding it hard to connect with felt sense and your emotions, if you've been feeling kind of numb and almost too cerebral, then encourage yourself to play more. Invite more play into your life. Play is such an interesting nervous system state. In polyvagal theory, they say it's a mix of ventral vagal and sympathetic, meaning it's a state of being in which we are experiencing nervous system arousal, but not so much to the point that it's overwhelming. It's just enough for us to remain curious, to feel a sense of adventure, and to want to engage in life with the intensity of life. So play is a really interesting, fascinating, and expansive state of being to be in. So play more, whatever that means to you. It can be so many things. Just don't take life so seriously. Allow yourself to be playful and childlike in your exploration of your situation and how to move forward. Let's get some Moonology cards. Adjustments are required. Third quarter moon. I'm feeling called to read to you the commentary on this card. So let's go ahead and do that. Think of yourself as a vessel that has been filled more and more over the past few weeks. Some of what has come your way may have been wonderful, but there is a lot of negativity and you need to let go of this. Whatever situation you're asking about now, be honest about whether there are toxic emotions involved, which you need to release into the ethers. This card also comes with the promise that not all is lost. However, there are changes and adjustments required before you will get to where you want to be. A change of course is forecast now that recent events have been understood and acted upon. There may also be a crisis now which will remind you what you want and what it's time to let go of, so pay attention. To attune to the moon, affirm to yourself, I am reevaluating the situation. Additional meanings for this card. Your life may be out of balance, and this may be causing your issues. It may be time to hatch a whole new plan. Something new and exciting is around the corner. Trust may be required to move the situation forwards. And the teaching for this moon is, at the time of the third quarter moon, we know where we have been, but where are we going? The moon is now a half moon and slipping away from us as she catches less and less light, moving towards her full disappearance at new moon. It's a time of falling away and a time to reevaluate. No matter when you draw this card, the teaching is to release and to trust. So a couple messages. You may have been let down by a situation recently. Things might have not gone your way. And now you're needing to release that, release the letdown, the negative emotions associated with that situation, and to reevaluate your strategy moving forward. That doesn't mean, I get the sense that you're wanting to still hold on to a bit of hope in that situation, and that's okay. You don't have to let it go entirely. This card also encourages you to trust, to have faith, but it's just a matter of letting go of the parts that are done and over with. If that makes sense. It's like the way, it says here, you know where you have been. You can let that go now. You can release it. Now focus on where you're going. You can continue to hold on to the hope, the faith that, you're struggling to release altogether. Keep that, but just redirect it in the direction of the future. So there's something that you need to release here. Maybe releasing the expectations that you had, the fact that things didn't go the way you planned it. Now let that go and reevaluate, redirect your energy to a new strategy. Now let's get some cards for your future energies and any other advice that wants to come through. Interesting. So again, we go back to the reverse King of Swords. There's a lot that you have repressed up until this point in your life, and I think you've done it quite successfully for the most part. But now, because you want to actually become the correct King of Swords in his highest expression, you're going to have to do a lot of shadow work. So get ready, because that's what's coming, if that is really what you want. You have the Five of Pentacles with the King of Cups. The King of Cups is a king of emotions. He has gained mastery over his emotions and intuition. He's not afraid of the chaos of the subconscious. He welcomes emotionality, and he's able to stay afloat above the waters. So in the future, I'm seeing that you're going to be calling upon this archetype a lot in order to heal your inner child and work through wounds of maybe missing attachment wounds, abandonment wounds, feelings of unworthiness, feelings of lack and scarcity as well. So there's a lot of shadow work here, a lot of dealing with your emotions in order to bring balance to the King of Swords, to reconnect and, to reconnect the mind with the body. And then we have the Chariot and the Hermit. So the Chariot is actually the card of the healthy ego. This is how we feel when we believe in our abilities, in our capacity to handle life, when we have enough determination and focus towards achieving our goals. We're in the Chariot. We move right ahead. We recognize that we can fail and make mistakes along the path, but that doesn't bother us too much. We are confident that at the end of the day, we'll get to where we need to be. So this is having a healthy ego. And the Hermit is releasing distractions, external opinions and energies, so that you can find the light within. Essentially, it's being in hermitage and really being by yourself and not needing anything else beyond that in order to figure yourself out, in order to gain clarity of your inner reality. So you will be in hermitage in the future. I know some of you are not going to like hearing that, but you're going to spend a good amount of time alone in order to build a healthy ego, to regain confidence that you're capable of doing what you set out in life, of achieving your goals and making something of yourself. There's going to be a bit of a, journey to getting that. Now let's get you one more card, or maybe two, to close out this reading. Yeah, one more. Okay, this is great. We love to end on a high note. Emotions are running high, super moon. You also have expect powerful change, new moon eclipse. So emotions are going to run high in the near future. They might already be running quite high, and that's okay. Embrace your emotions. This is a good place to be. Feeling emotional is way better than feeling nothing at all. This takes you one step closer to self-regulation, to processing something, to reaching resolution. So embrace your emotions. It means things are moving, things are being digested and processed. That's so much better than feeling stuck and numb and repressed, because you don't get better when you're stuck like that, when you're numb in your body, in your nervous system. If you're feeling your emotions, it means you're that much closer to actually processing them. And we have expect powerful change. So this is going to bring about a lot of change. Get ready for that. Get excited about that. Look forward to it. Expect powerful change. Beautiful. Really like this reading, Group 3. I hope that you found it helpful. Let me know in the comments below. And if you would like more guidance from me, I do 2 new readings every month on Patreon, one for the new moon and one for the full moon. And I always follow these readings with a Reiki activation, so you can actually apply the readings to your life and feel it energetically. So if that's something that sparks curiosity in you, I would love to see you over on Patreon. Otherwise, see you in another reading or another video. Thank you so much for being here and sending you so much love, light, and healing. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. I'm sure you already know how much I love Squarespace and the fact that I have my website on there. If you also have an online business or you're in e-commerce, then I think Squarespace might have what you're looking for. Squarespace e-commerce makes it easy for you to organize and manage inventory, give shoppers the best browsing experiences with embedded videos and images, and suggest relevant products. All Squarespace online stores are also designed to maximize the visibility of your brand and help shoppers find your products. And you can handle shipping and fulfillment, taxes and payments all in one place. Not to mention, their award-winning customer support is available 24/7 via email or live chat if you ever come across any issues. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial And when you're ready to launch, go to my link, squarespace.com/ediyasmr, to save 10% off of your first website or domain. Thank you so much, Squarespace. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.